I was in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, getting paid just to get by. I used to say I've got accent, nobody would understand my accent. And I used to say I'm black, people don't trust black people, things like that. So that was a really stumbling block for me. As long as you concentrate in adding value in whatever you do, you don't need to worry about your finances ever again. If you can invest 8 hours at work, working for someone else, making them super wealthy, why not spend an hour or 2 hours in you? That is the mission, my vision, to help impact as many as my own people as I can possibly can.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unleash Your Superpower. Today, we have the excitement and the pleasure and the privilege to welcome an incredible guest. His name is Rahim Ba. He is an absolute powerhouse in the world of property investment and mentorship. So get ready for an engaging conversation filled with tips and insider stories that will help you on your journey in the real estate investment. So let's give a big welcome. So if at home, just make tremendous noise for Rahim Ba. Welcome, Rahim Ba, to Unleash Your Superpower, my brother. How are you?
I'm all right, my friend. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, my brother, and thank you for being here today. I want you to introduce yourself, right, to our audience so that people can relate to you. Tell us who you are and what is it that you do.
Right. For those who don't know me, my name is Rahim Ba. I like looking for dilapidated houses that are very old, wonky, stinks, people don't want to buy or live in. I then buy these sort of properties. I renovate them so I can add value to them, refurbish them, refinance them, and then rent them out to people that needs accommodation. I do it in various ways. I do it by renting it to normal people, like families. I rent it in a room-by-room basis by doing it as a HMO. I also rent it as serviced accommodation. People call it Airbnb. And I also do it as holiday let, where families can go on holiday for minimum of 7 days or so. I also love helping aspiring investors to start and scale their property investment from not having money to building a multi-million-pound property investment portfolio. So that is the mission, my vision, to help impact as many as my own people as I can possibly can, to use property as a vehicle to make passive and recurring income, for them to also understand, right? There's another alternative for not working. If you decided to think working is not for you, you want to go into property, I help you that way as well. Or perhaps you want to make additional income whilst you love what you're doing. I'm here to help with that. But I love building houses. I love taking houses from ground to up, developing them, and all that sort of thing. So in a nutshell, that's who I am. But before I get to property, I used to work as an accountant, and I worked in the city for a few years, and I did not really like it. So I decided to take a mental leap to start my own investment journey. So that's where I am right now.
That's incredible what you shared, because I also have a property business, right? And what you say is that it's very profound for people who don't feel like the 9 to 5 is for them, because the 9 to 5 is not for everybody. For those that Correct. Feel like they are entrepreneur, right? They want to get out of that 9 to 5 system. There is property is a good vehicle, right? It's a good way of doing that, but not only a good way of it's not only benefiting you, but it also benefit the community, because you get to give people a place to live, right? Or a place Correct. To spend a good time with their family. So that's really, really good. Now, what is it that got you involved in this property investment journey?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking that question. It's back in 2016. I was working as an accountant. I moved to Cardiff, and to be honest with you, I was in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, getting paid just to get by. And it was a really tough time. And I used to work really hard from 6 a.m. in the morning to sometimes even 6 p.m. in the evening, almost 6 days a week, trying to help the company grow. And as a management accountant, looking after 240 sites. And it wasn't always easy because I was working this hard. My manager don't appreciate what I do. If I do something silly, the whole floor will know about it. And really and truly, and I saw them traveling left, right, and center. And then I was looking at myself. I said, I don't want this life to be me in next 5, 6, 10 years. And really and truly, I did not like it. So I decided to take the mental leap to quit my job because I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to dictate the time I go for holiday, when I go for holiday, and how long I go for holiday. But what really triggers me to get into property is one Saturday morning, I woke up to a striking thought. I thought to myself, what if I got ill? What if I got run by a bus? Or what if one of my son or children fall ill and I had to stop working to look after them? I realized at that point, I was only making money when I work. And I thought maybe my company will look after me maybe for a couple of months or so, and then I'm on my own. And I realized I was only making money when I work. Really and truly, I wasn't making anything else after that. So for me, that was an epiphany moment for me. From that day, that hour, that minute, that second, I decided to take my financial situation into my own hands instead of relying on my employees or on my employers and the government. So I looked into crypto, I looked into Forex, I looked into trading commodities online. But property was the thing that I last bumped into, unfortunately, because I always ignored it because I was told that I needed lots of money to start my investment journey. I was told I need 50,000, 60,000, 100,000. Some people even tell me I need 200,000 pounds. So I really and truly, I ignored it. But when I started looking into it, I realized actually I can do property. I do not need all that money people were literally telling me to do. So slowly and slowly I started learning about it, educating about it. But the beauty about it, when I looked into it at that point, it was one of the only assets that will make me money in two ways. It would make me money from renting the property, i.e. renting it to a tenant, and that tenant pays me money every single month, right? And the second thing about it, it was something that we call capital appreciation. So now, what is capital appreciation? Capital appreciation is the process by which the value of the property would go up over time. So I realized then if I buy a property for £100,000, right, and I held that property for say a year or so, that property is likely to go up by 10%. So I looked at the figures. I said 10% of that would have been £110,000, right? At £110,000, I would have made £10,000 in just capital appreciation. So for me, that made logical sense to me. And I thought if I rent that property as well, I would have made rent from that property. Those are the two key things that gets me to start properties, right? And then the other thing really and truly that gets me to literally take that leap is that I realized I can take over a property that worth £100,000 by only putting down £25,000. And I can raise that £25,000 from someone else. So there's a massive leverage in it, right? So I said to myself, you know what, this is what I want to be doing, okay? So it wasn't always easy, right? It took me a long time to get my first property, got my second property, got my third property. From there on, I was able to build a multi-million-pound property investment portfolio. And today I've got my estate agency, my renovation company. I now help property investors to use property as a vehicle to make passive, recurring income. So some people may be thinking, I do not have £25,000 to buy a house. I don't have £30,000 to buy a house. That's exactly how I felt. So I did not start that way. I started by looking at properties from struggling landlords, and then I rent these properties from the landlord, and I subsequently rent the property room by room basis. So see it in a way that the landlord is the wholesaler and I was the retailer by renting this property room by room, right? So, and then I start making my 400, 500, 600 pounds. And then from there, I save that money whilst earning, and then obviously then start investing in property. And that's how I was being able to build my property investment portfolio. So, yeah, so that's how I started.
Thank you, Rahim, and thank you for this exhaustive explanation, because that really goes insight into what the journey of a property investor is about. So, just to our audience, I want to thank all of you that are watching this video right now. I want to thank all of you for all your love and like that's coming. If you have a question for Rahim during this live interview, post your question underneath in the comments below and we will answer those questions for you. Today we're talking about property investment. And Rahim, I really love how you started this answer by sharing what you were going through, like the biggest challenge you were having in your job, feeling underappreciated and undervalued. And that become like the trigger, the why that push you forward in order for you to start your journey, to start looking at ways of making additional passive income. And also I love the way you start to think about what if could happen, what if this happened, that happened, what would the impact of that would be on you as well as your family. So for our audience watching this video right now, I want to ask you, what's your why? What's the things that's driving you? What is the problem that you are facing in your job? Because behind that problem there might be an opportunity for you. There might be something for you. Maybe that problem is just there, like a lingering feeling or something that just disturb your day-to-day life and make you feel uncomfortable. But the purpose of it is to push you towards your destiny, to push you toward that thing that you need to be doing. So don't see that as a roadblock, but see it as a stepping stone towards your dream, just like Rahim just shared with us. Now, you mentioned that it wasn't easy at the beginning. Could you share with us some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you started your journey in property?
Fantastic question, Mukhtar. You see, when I start my investment journey, is that the challenges I face is getting the deals, right? Let's be honest, getting the deals. And because I did not have money when I started, I did not have money. So I decided to go for a strategy called rent to rent. So with rent to rent, it's about finding landlords, calling the landlords, booking viewings, negotiating with them. So the challenges I face, I'm not going to call it challenges. I think it was fear, right? So the fear I had when I started is to talk myself down, right? I used to say I wasn't born in this country. You know, no one would listen to me. I used to say I've got accent. Nobody would understand my accent. And I used to say I'm black. People don't trust black people, things like that. So that was a really stumbling block for me, because that was like a barrier, right? It really stops me from wanting to go thrive and thrive and thrive. So, but I was able to overcome that by believing in myself, by looking myself in the mirror and say to myself, it's possible. I am a doer. I'm relentless. I'm an action taker. And I will go all in to get what I want to get. So that's one of the stumbling blocks. But the other stumbling block I had is that because, and back then I was young, people don't take me for serious, right? And some people would see you genuinely want to take their property, but because the way you look or the way you sound, they kind of don't kind of want to work with you, so to speak. And I remember vividly at one point I met a landlord, spoke to the landlord, everything was good, and he tried asking me so many questions, and he turned around and said he's not going to rent his property to me, right? And then I asked him why, and then he turned around and said, because you're black. He said that in front of my face. He said, I cannot rent a property because you're black. So that was a turning point for me. I'm thinking, what is going on here? And then he said, I can't. You know, I just can't. And the funny thing about that is,
Hold on, Rahims, hold on. Please don't say that I interrupted you. You just said that he said he didn't want to rent the property to you because you were black.
absolutely.
Good.
Right?
Hold it there. Hold it right there, right? Because this is the thing, right? This is the thing that I was going to talk about, and that was going to be the next question. So I want you to hold all your answer because this is a big thing, and I'm going to address the big pink elephant in the room. Right?
Yeah.
This thing is, you mentioned about this is one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest roadblock people face in their mind. The fact that people might believe that the skin color will stop them, the accent will stop them, the background will stop them, the origin will stop them. There are people who's not gonna work with you. But let me tell you this: for one person who doesn't want to work with you, there's thousands other who will be working with you.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what you want to get for yourself. For one person who doesn't want to work with you, there's thousands others who will work with you. So regardless of your background, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your origin, regardless of whatever excuses that you have, let me tell you this: some people will tell you no for no reason. Whether you are black, white, yellow, or green, some people will tell you no for no reason. For your hair color, the shape of your nose, right? The shoes you are wearing, the color of your shoes. For no reason, they'll tell you no. Right? But no is just one step toward the yes. Right? Yeah. And sometimes a no is actually God saving you from that partnership. You rather have a no now and carry on to get your yes than having a no and it's a bad deal, it's a bad person, it's a bad relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? So stop trying to get to the people. Stop trying to force your way when people are telling you no, and because you know is maybe life and God trying to redirect you towards your yes.
Correct.
Right? So I want to mention that to all my brothers out there, and especially to all my black brothers, because this thing keeps stopping us. And I want to, before you share your story, I wanted to stop you there, right? To create a little bit of suspense, because I want to hear how you break through that. Right? Thank you, my brother. Please carry on.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mukhtar. Really, really good, inspiring words you've said there. So, but the funny thing about it is that Mukhtar, the guy that told me that, he's black himself, right? So he's from
wow.
Asia. He's from Asia.
That's incredible.
He's from East Asia. So for me, then, when I hear that, it becomes a motivation to me. Because what I thought to myself at that point, this guy just gave me his opinion. So I will not allow his opinion to become my reality.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I would have said, this is not for me. I said it to myself, my accent and black, this is a proof. I cannot do this anymore. Right? Literally, I'm just going to walk away, go back doing my accountancy job, because that's what I've studied, okay? But I turned the energy around. I said to myself, this will be my motivation to not just get property, but to get property from this individual himself.
Wow.
Because I wanted to reverse his idea.
Yeah.
You cannot paint everybody with the same brush.
Yeah.
Right? I said to him, fine, no problem. Brilliant. So I've got his number, obviously, because I've met him. I did not give up when he told me that word. I kept keeping on.
Yeah.
Every couple of weeks, I ring him. Say, look, I'm still here. If you've got a property, I'm happy to take it. Right?
Yeah.
He said, no, I've told you I'm not going to rent you. I said, look, I rang him again. Do you need any help with your properties? Anything wrong? I'm happy to help you. Right? Third time, fourth time, fifth time. And then one day, his wife said, this guy's been ringing you so many times. Why not give him a chance? Right? If it is a bad person, he won't keep ringing you, right? Asking you to give you his property or to take on your properties, right? And then he goes like, okay, this is him explaining this to me now, right? Because I did not know all this. And then one day he invited me to his mosque, right?
Yeah.
Basically, what happened was I turned up late. I told him, no, sorry, I turned up, but he wasn't in the masjid. He was in the masjid's office, right? Everybody has prayed. I needed to pray. I needed to do my namaz. He went to the masjid upstairs to the camera, so watching me pray. Because he thought I was pretending to be a Muslim and I don't even pray, right? So we had our meeting and he said, you know what, I will give you one of my properties. Okay? I took that property from him. It took me about maybe 5 months. I was after this gentleman for 5 months, right? He gave me a chance for his first property, right? I proved him wrong. He came back to me, I want to give you my second property. I want to give you my third property. I want to give you my fourth property. I want to give you my fifth property. I end up taking on 10 of his properties.
Wow.
From saying I'm not renting to a black person to taking 10 properties of his. So one day, because I build relationship with my landlords that I work with, we went for a meal one day. Then he said to me, I need to ask for forgiveness. I'm thinking, what forgiveness are you talking about? He said, I did not rent you my properties at the beginning because you're black. I said it to you, so apologies. I didn't trust you, you know, and yeah, so apologies and all that sort of thing. Then I said, listen, it's not personal. The reason why I insist to get your property is because I want to change your mindset for you to know each and every race, culture, nationality got good and bad people, and as well as amazing, genuine people. Okay, so from there on, referred me to different landlords that he knew, and from there I was able to overcome that obstacle to go on and on and on and on. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because for each one of your audience or anybody's watching me from my live or from anywhere you are in the world, is that you have to have you have to have something that you want for you, something that is real for you, something that will give your life a special meaning and power, and back that up with real and genuine why. You might not have the skills, you might not have the money, you might not even have a clue of what you're about to set yourself to do, but as long as you've got that dream, that mission, and a reason why you want to achieve what you set yourself to achieve, there is no stumbling block along the way. All the stumbling block would be a learning curve to take you a little bit closer to where you want to be.
That's beautifully said, my brother. Really beautifully. For our audience watching, thank you very much for all the love, the like. You know, people are really inspired by what you just said. And this is the power of turning a no into a yes. Right? This is the power of turning a no to a yes. What I love in what you share is that you were of service, providing help, being relentless, I would say, with giving love, right? Really being at a service to people. Because even though it was about getting a property, what I got from what you said, it wasn't about getting the property anymore. It was changing the mindset. You were standing for something greater than yourself, something greater than the business. You were representing. You were like a representation. You were like a representative of the whole black people race, if I could say like that, right? You were standing for changing somebody mindset, for making a difference in somebody mindset, and that not only transform you, but transform him and everybody that he touches, all right? Everybody that he himself can inspire and influence, right?
Absolutely.
And this is how we can all transform the world.
Yeah.
And that is very, very important. And I love the way, you know, your character, the way you hold yourself. You say you went to the masjid, you were praying. and he was watching you in the camera, right? So to our audience, people are watching you, whether you want it or not. People are watching you. Right? Everything that you do has an impact. You know,
Absolutely.
we live in this time where we like, I don't care, I do what I want, but in reality, whatever you do has an impact. People watch you, and people do business with the people they love and trust. Right? If you can show people that you care about them, that you care about their well-being, you care about their property, you care about their business, and you can create that trust and relatedness with them, people will do business with you regardless of the color. You
Absolutely.
know, I deeply believe that. And everybody, I mean, a lot of people will have, because of their background, their past history, past issue that they might have preconceived ideas,
Yeah.
right? And those ideas will change very quickly, right? Those ideas will change very quickly because they will get they will get the genuineness of who you are. You know, you will get the character of the person that you are, right? And this is really, really amazing.
Yeah. Here's the thing
Now,
also, just to add on
yeah,
to
good.
what you're saying there.
Yeah.
What I've learned from successful people, I've met lots of people, very successful people in all walks of life. The common thing I've seen or I've heard them saying is that as long as you concentrate in adding value in whatever
Mm,
you do, you don't need to worry about your finances ever again.
mm,
If you are going into a relationship because you genuinely want to add value, there's no way you will not have someone to work with. They will pay you handsomely. Adding value in someone else's life is like putting money in your bank account.
mm.
It would serve you for when you need it,
Yeah,
or putting your money in an investment pot, right? Like a property, for example, you put money in it, it looks after you over time. The same
yeah,
thing comes to adding value. So once you've added value, you would always get a financial reward for it. It might not be instant,
yeah.
but if you're looking at the long term, long run, it would eventually pay you handsomely.
That's amazing, brother. I was gonna say preach, my brother, preach. What you're saying is so deep, and you just answered my next question before I ask it, right?
Brilliant.
Which is one of the main things that can help the success, one of the main quality that or skill that you believe is essential in having a successful business, which is to add value, right? To really, really, really add value. Now, what would you say for those who want to start their journey in property, right? What advice would you give them?
So, good question, Mukhtar. You have amazing questions, by the way. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
the advice I have for people that like to start their investment journey is to take action. Do not procrastinate about it. Don't put it on the sideline. I'll do it tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And then it becomes a dream. It becomes a something that you've never ever had to do. You see, there are lots of people that want to get into property, but they tend to do it like waiting until all the green light, all the traffic light goes green. I'm gonna wait until I get baby. I'm gonna wait until I get married. I'm gonna wait until I buy my first house. I'm gonna wait until I come back from holiday. There's always something holding them back, right? If you want to take action, you want to be financially successful, you have to take that action now. You might not know even what you're doing. You might not even have a clue about what you set yourself to do. But the beauty of taking action, it takes you a little bit closer to your destination. Because the way the law of attraction works, as soon as you change your mindset, you're looking at something that you want. Your body, your soul is like a magnet. It starts attracting people like that to you. people that will teach you, people that will guide you, people that will mentor you, people that will hold your hand to get you a little closer to where you want to go. So the advice I have, basic first advice, is to start taking action. Taking that action then leads you to the second advice. The second advice is to get someone to mentor you, coach you along the way. Why do you need that? You need that to reduce the mistakes you may make along the way. And the most important thing is you could actually expedite your investment process. Why? Because you learn something that someone has learned for 5, 6 years, or maybe 10 years. You can learn that in 1 month, 2 months. And it reduces your mistake drastically, right? And it is the cheapest option. Doing it without educating yourself, coaching yourself, is a massive risk. I don't want to go down to the mistake I made, okay? Because I made a massive mistake doing that. The third thing, if you want to start investing, is living below your means. What do I mean by that? Is to be a good saver, someone that would live on 70% of their take-home salary. Why do you want to do that? You want to do that, number one, to save. Secondly, to teach yourself discipline. And thirdly, to be able to use that money to reinvest in what you set yourself to do. Because if you're not frugal, no matter how much money you have, it will be like a burst bucket.
Yep.
And the way this country is, the way 95% of the people operate is when they got a high paycheck, guess what they do, Mukhtar? They increase their expenses.
Yeah.
They move to an expensive house. They move to an expensive neighborhood. They start changing their supermarket. They start changing stuff. You have to do the opposite. If you want to be unique and different, these are the little things you could do to take yourself a little bit closer to where you want to go. And the other thing you want to do if you want to start your investment journey is what I call networking. It's important for you to surround yourself with people that are doing what you are doing, or what you are about to do, or what you set yourself to do. What does that do? It changes your belief system. It changes your mentality. You start surrounding with some people that we call battery chargers instead of battery drainers. You start learning that from these people. I had a saying, if you're the smartest person in your group, it's about time to find another group. Okay? Because surrounding yourself with these people would only grow you. This is what I did. 2015, I made that leap. I grew up in London. I talked to you. I said I used to live in Croydon. When I wanted to change my life, I looked at the people around me. Right? I looked at these people. I realized none of them are thinking about their future. It's about going to the club, going to watch football games, when to go on holiday, what time do you want to meet in the city centre, and all that sort of thing. Right? I was at one point have 12 pairs of trainers. You name the clubs in London, I've been in all of them. From Old Kent Road all the way to Trafalgar Square, Leicester, you name those clubs, I've been to all of them, bro. Right? But when I looked at those people, I realized I don't want to live that sort of life until my 30s or say my 40s. I take a decisive decision to segregate myself. When I did that, it was really tough, emotional. I cried for maybe 2-3 days because I'm leaving my loved ones, my friends that I know. I moved. I thought I would never have good friends. But when I moved to Cardiff, I met quality friends. I met people that are way advanced than me. People that can say, Raheem, this is why I don't spend time with them all the time. But when we meet, when they call me, I call them. It's all about growing, progressing, encouraging each other to the next level instead of talking about the next football game. Who is the best player in that match? Who was man of the match? Which club are we going tonight? Are we on in Bournemouth? Are we going to Southampton to this weekend? Right? All that then literally all go away. And the beauty of it right? I have so many battery drainers around me. Well, who are battery drainers? Battery drainers are people that tells you, oh, you can't do it. You're not made for this. You know, this is a white man thing. Why are you doing all this thing? They are called battery drainers because they always cry you down.
Mm.
Right? So when I move away from these people, it transformed my life. So these are the things. If you really want to take your finances into your hands, it doesn't matter what sort of business you are going to. This applies to everything. Right? In order for you to succeed, it has to come from within. And I've seen so many people wanting to do property investment, for example. I want to do this, I want to do that, because when you go home, they're watching Netflix.
Mm.
Or they're watching Amazon Prime. Or they're watching football. If you want something, invest that to you. Right? I tell people, if you can invest 8 hours at work, working for someone else, making them super, super wealthy, why not spend an hour or 2 hours in you? Right? If you work, say, from 9 to 5, come home, have your dinner, sit down for an hour, do you. But what most people do, come home, eat food, watch that negative news, right? Jump on Netflix, and when you ask them, bro, I'm so busy, I haven't got time. What were you doing since you arrived at 6 p.m. in the evening to when you go up at 10 o'clock? You haven't done that. So if you want to be successful, I'm not talking about this to kind of scare you. It's to kind of set you apart of the people. Because once you start looking at things like this, you start knowing who you want to be surrounding yourself with. Is that making sense?
You know what you're saying is so true. You know, just carry on, keep preaching, my brother. You know,
right? So once you've done that, your people you'll be separating yourself with different sort of people, right? And what people do not realize, if you want to write this down, whatever you've achieved to date is the manifestation of what you believe you deserve.
Say that again. Say that again, my brother. I put you on the screen. I put you on the screen. You are the only one on the screen right now. So it's all the screen is yours.
What you achieve until this point is the manifestation of what you believe you deserve. Whatever you've achieved to this point is what you strongly subconsciously believe you truly deserve and you want for yourself. But if you tell yourself, I deserve better, I can do better, I can do this for me, for my family, there's no way you will not attract whatever wealth you want. What I tell people, if I can start my investment journey from no money to building a multi-million-pound property investment portfolio, anybody can do it. Because I'm not the smartest person out there, right? But what I'm very good at is consistency, commitment, and perseverance, right? And loving what I do without wanting someone to compliment me. I work harder behind closed doors, and then that they manifest out there. So you have to be willing and able to do that, create that time in you, create that time in your calendar. So once you've got that reminder, you leave whatever you're doing, you stay focused on that. And that will get you to your ultimate goal and get you to the financial freedom you truly deserve for yourself.
Hey, thank you very much for that, because I really, really appreciate everything that you said. Creating time in your calendar, because first of all, to create success for yourself, you need to create a space. All right, you need to create a time in your calendar. When you spend a lot of time, like Rahim said, making somebody else super wealthy, find the time, take the time for you, because you deserve it. Your dreams are valid. Your life is important. Whatever you want to do for you is important. So take that time to create that life that you want for you. And an hour a day can make a huge difference in your journey to achieve your dream.
Absolutely.
And also, as Rahim said, take action. Find a mentor. You know, live below your mean, and network. Surround yourself with people that will move you forward. Now, Rahim, you mentioned something very important. You mentioned mentorship. And I know that you provide coaching mentorship to people who want to start their journey in property. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right, thanks. You've asked about that. I don't normally advertise it, to be honest. So what I do, I take maximum of 12 people a year under my wing, where I mentor them in a one-on-one basis, where I will take them through a certain journey where we can go through their finances. I've got accounting background, know where they are financially, where they are physically, and where they are morally. And then we draw a roadmap to take them from where they are to where they want to be. We break that down chunk by chunk, and then we go and help them achieve what they set themselves to achieve. So that's what the mentorship program is all about. But what I've done recently is that when I started my property investment journey, I made a promise to myself. Once I've done what I set myself to achieve, certain level, I made a promise to give back to my people. So what I've done is basically is to, the reason why I'm doing that, actually, let me backtrack a little bit, is that the courses people are selling out there is very expensive. The property investment courses are ridiculously expensive, right? Some are charging 15,000, some are charging 20, some are even charging 25. I even seen someone charging £40,000. And I realized my people cannot afford that money, right? So what I did basically, recently, this took me 12 months to do, I've created a platform called Rahim Bars Club. In this platform, I literally sat in my studio, recorded all the property investment strategies, drilling down every single aspect of it. Rent to rent, rent to service recommendation, buy, refurbish and refinance, purchase lease option, buy to let, raising finance, everything in that platform. Tiny chunks. I put it in that platform so that anybody from any walk of life can access that platform and go and immerse themselves on it. We have implementation sessions as well in that platform, where you can go see how you implement stuff. You don't watch it passively, you implement it. You go through exercises with me. Within that platform, you also got all the documents you would need. Your script, your lease option agreement, your purchase lease option agreement, your whatever document you need to get your property investment journey going is in that platform. We have money mastery. We have how to use AI to make money, how to start a side hustle. And the most beautiful part of that platform is also people can join me on my Q&As for completely free of charge. Right? You can join me on my Q&As, which I do every fortnightly. You can ask me a question directly. It's not like what we're doing now. It's like a Zoom, right? It's an exclusive just to my mentees. Okay? And then if you consume enough educational material on the platform, you got an opportunity to book me on a one-on-one basis. You may be thinking this will cost lots of money. You believe in me or not? I made it so cheap that I made it cheaper the cheapest that the platform could allow me to do. It costs less than 2 cups of coffee. That's it, a month. 2 cups of coffee a month, that's how much it costs you. It costs you £10.08, I think, including VAT. Subscription based, no contract, no commitment. You can literally cancel at any time. It's purely to give back for people to know, listen, you don't have to get a mentor if you don't need to. Right? You don't have to, you can literally go in that platform. You can ask me questions. You can join me on my Q&As, money mastery. And you got, if you want to join me face-to-face live in my event, you got 10% discount. It's absolutely amazing. And we update that content in a daily, weekly basis to make sure you got the most relevant content in that platform. And I'm doing that a way of giving back for anyone who wants to start and scale their property investment journey. So the platform is rahimbar.com. RAHIMBAH.com. So click on that platform. It takes you to the sign up page. There is a sign up button at the bottom. You click on that sign up button. It gets you to the registration page. It takes about a minute or so to complete it. It's completely reasonable. Anyone can join it who wants to take their finances into their own hands.
So the website is rahimba.com.
Correct.
Yeah. I might join that as well. I've been in property for 7 years, and I think I'm gonna go because for 2 cups of coffee, and I can see you, have a conversation with you once a month, and we can be doing this, right? What else can I ask for? Right? That's so great. You mentioned surrounding yourself with great people, having a conversation. People go to pub just to network, right? And they will talk about everything that's going on in the society that's not working. They will leave the pub drunk, not only drunk, they will leave the pub drunk, toxicity in the body, toxicity in the mind, and they will spend more than 2 cups of coffee, right?
Absolutely.
So this is like an incredible opportunity for, and guess what? You mentioned about the community, right? The community, we need in the community to get things right, right?
Yeah.
People go clubbing. You mentioned clubbing, you mentioned the Old Kent Road to all the way to Trafalgar Square. When you go there Friday night, Saturday night, people spend a lot of money,
Absolutely.
right? The same people will come to you on Monday morning to tell you that they don't have money, right? The same people will come to your event and tell you, oh no, this is so expensive, I can't afford it. But the same people on Friday, Saturday will spend a lot of money to impress friends who actually don't give an F about them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you are providing something that can make a difference for their life, for the future, and for the whole generation for 2 cups of coffee.
Thank you.
that
Thank you very
that's
much.
like an incredible difference that you're making in people's life, and I really commend you, acknowledge you, and thank you for what you're doing. I will
Thank
check that out myself. So guys, if you're watching this video right now, rahimba.com, that's where you want to be. This is the community that Rahim has created, and his commitment to make a difference in the life of people. But not only that, for the stand that he has in the world. We're coming to the end of our time, right? Now, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to share anything that you want, to have a last word, to say anything that you want. The screen is gonna be yours. You're gonna be by yourself on the screen. So take this moment to share anything that you want to share, if there is anything else that you want to share, and then we will close it there.
So I'll leave you with this. Make taking your finances your duty, responsibility, and obligation. If you're not making money whilst you sleep, you will work until you die. So make money work for you instead of you working for it. God bless you and thank you.